What's up, Overwatch fam? It's a huge day for the Overwatch League and for the game itself. We are here in Los Angeles to celebrate and explain everything you need to know about Stage 4. Of course, I'm talking about today's announcement of 222, the role lock that's being put in, where all compositions will consist of 2 damage dealers, 2 tanks, and 2 supports. Welcome to the Watchpoint Stage 4 preview presented by State Farm. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, and I'm joined by the 3 experts that'll walk you through all of the changes. We've got Zoe, we've got Bren, and we've got Sideshow once again. How's everybody feeling?
Dude, it is crazy. They've managed to keep Rollock on the laps, like just like nobody's even
nobody knew.
Yeah, no subtle hints were dropped whatsoever.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot to unpack on the show for you guys today, so let's get right into it. Malik Forté is going to sit down with Overwatch League Senior Product Director. It's Mr. John Specter to understand why the league is making this huge change and why now. Plus, you're probably wondering how the players feel about 222. We talked to the league's biggest stars to find out just that. And a look of 2 damage heroes means the return to glory of some of our league's most explosive damage dealers. We'll welcome them back with open arms on today's show. If you've been living behind a Maywall, here is a look at the details of role lock that will be in place for Stage 4 of the Overwatch League. All comps will be 2 damage heroes, 2 tanks, and 2 supports. Players cannot change roles during a map, but they can between maps. Facing the stage, players will always be seated left to right, with your first 2 damage dealers, then tanks in the middle, and on the end will be your supports. Your initial reactions to these changes for the game, and more importantly, for the Overwatch League, Zoe.
Oof. I mean, that's a pretty big change to come for us. I do think it will allow a lot of teams to unlock some of the players we haven't seen for some time because the GOAT composition, the 3-3 composition left a lot of people kind of on the bench. So from that perspective, I think is very, very exciting. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I'm just excited to see what we're going to see from all these teams and if the top teams can stay dominant in this new meta.
Yeah, adaptability is going to be a huge part of, I think, for a lot of these teams moving forward, at least into Stage 4. But the biggest thing as well is you got to start to question, there's some teams that are going to be losers, some teams are going to be winners. I know we're going to be diving into that a little bit later on as well. But, I mean, I feel like this was a change that was necessary, I think, for the long-term health. But short term, you're going to start to see probably a couple of upset teams.
Some craziness.
Yeah, and probably a lot of craziness as well coming into Stage 4. I mean, this could potentially open up some scenarios where, I don't know, I mean, my hot take was that Shanghai Dragons are going to win the Overwatch League this year.
Doesn't look so hot anymore.
This could actually be a reality with it being in Stage 4.
Yeah, this is the biggest change that's happened to Overwatch ever since they made everything 1 hero limit. I mean, it is literally that game-changing for the entire game as a whole. It's going to have impact on how people enjoy playing the game, how we see the game. It's just an enormous shift for the league. So it'll be awesome to see it play out.
It is a major shift, and since 222 was announced earlier today, the Overwatch community has been buzzing. We know the teams were consulted by the league and eventually told the change would take place back in June, but we've still got a ton of questions, and don't worry. Our pal Malik Forté sat down with the Overwatch League Senior Product Director John Specter to get all the good answers.
Jonathan, first off, I want to say thank you for sitting down and talking to us about this. I think I speak on behalf of everybody here at the league, production, the casters, the fans, that it's been very tough or excruciating to not be able to really dig in and talk about this and find out more about this. So happy to finally get this out to the world. John, how excited are you about the official inclusion of role lock into Overwatch League?
I'm super amped up about it myself. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see what the teams do in the new 222 environment and just check out how the strategies evolve. I think teams have had now a couple of months really to prepare for this. So we should see things that we've never really seen in Overwatch League, and I'm super excited for that.
So you say that teams have known about this for a couple of months and had time to prepare, but why did you guys decide to implement it now, right before Stage 4?
It's really important to us on the Overwatch League side of things that we look to keep the experience on stage that all the fans have a chance to watch as similar as we can to what you're playing at home when you play Overwatch. And we think that makes a better fan experience. We think that makes a better player experience. And so with role queue coming to Overwatch shortly, as the team just announced earlier today, we thought it was really important to bring it to Overwatch League as quickly as we could. The challenging aspect of the timing for us was it's a big change. And thinking about how do you make a big change like that in the middle of a season in a way that makes most sense for the players and for our fans, it was a tough call. Ultimately, what we felt was launching in stage 4 allowed us to give players, teams enough time to adjust and adapt before we head into the playoffs. And because we were able to start talking about it with teams a couple months ago, we felt like they would have the ability to prepare in advance and be ready to go for the start of stage 4.
Well, how are they feeling about that? I mean, because this isn't the traditional meta shift that we've had before. This is a blow up in a sense. So how did they feel when you brought this to them? Was it more of an executive order? Did they collaborate with you guys on this decision?
We closely consulted with all the teams. So a couple months ago when we were first really wrestling with the issue, we looped in all the team general managers. We had a round of conversations with them. We went to a bunch of our pro players and talked with them about how they'd feel about this. And then ultimately we actually asked the teams to vote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was normally, right, it's balance patch comes out, and obviously our team is talking with the pros a lot about their thoughts on balance. But normally when we patch, it's as you said, executive order from the league.
Right.
In this case, we did really want to involve the teams in that decision. And the reason why we're here having this conversation today, an overwhelming majority of the teams supported the approach that we're taking here.
But why not wait until the end of the season and just wait until 2020?
Right, that was the other option that we most seriously considered, and when we talked with the teams, players, GMs about the options, that was sort of the other choice, right? Yeah. As we thought about that choice, what it would have really meant is that as you head into playoffs and finals, you're playing those most important matches all year on a patch that's actually pretty old, since 2.2.2 is coming to the game soon, and when you started to think about what does that experience look like for your fans and what does that look like for players, where if you're still playing and you're practicing compositions that have 3 support heroes, when a fan tunes in and they see that, and the Overwatch that they play, you can only have 2 support heroes, you start to have a pretty big disconnect over that period of a couple of months. And so I think that was one of the biggest reasons why, as we talked to the teams, they were so overwhelmingly in favor of just doing it now.
That makes a lot of sense too. I remember last year we kind of had a little bit of we fell behind a little bit patch wise to what was going on in the game and here in the league, and it was a little weird.
I think that was one of the biggest lessons we learned last year. Honestly, is the more that we can do to keep the pro experience in Overwatch League consistent with the live game experience of Overwatch players, the better from an Overwatch League perspective. And so that lesson from last year in a lot of ways informed our approach this year, and it's going to inform our approach moving forward too. One of the things that we've talked about a bunch before, but which really guided our decision making here too, is we do believe that the best Overwatch League teams are the most adaptable, flexible teams that can be successful in a wide range of strategies, right? You're not the best at Overwatch because you're the best at dive or the best at bunker. You're the best at Overwatch because the teams that you can put up there are adaptable and flexible and demonstrate great teamwork in a wide variety of strategies. So I'm for one, really excited to see how the teams evolve and adapt here, and looking forward to seeing stage 4. How
has the response been overall from all the teams since, this has actually been the decision you guys have gone with?
They're all excited too, as best we could tell. I think a lot of the players, particularly our star damage players, many of whom have flexed onto other roles in the first part of this season. I think they're eager to get back up on stage and remind all of us how incredibly good they are on some of those hit scan heroes.
Is that how you think this is going to, impact the league competitively? We're going to see new meta. We're going to see new characters out there. How do you think overall this is really going to impact the league?
Look, I'll never pretend to be an expert on the coaches are so much smarter on this stuff than I'll ever be. And so, but I do expect the biggest change is going to be with the 2-2-2 role lock and force in Overwatch League. You're going to see some team compositions that we haven't really seen this season.
And how do you think this is going to affect the fans' experience for the viewers watching at home?
I think fans should be excited about it. This is a feature that obviously a lot of our community has talked about for a long time, and we know from conversations we have with fans that it's important to them that the experience that they see pro players having is the same as theirs on ladder and in ranked. And people watch Overwatch League because for a lot of them, they want to get better at Overwatch and they want to see what the new strategies are. And in this case, they'll actually have a chance to watch pros sort of test drive the feature a little bit before they really get their hands on it.
Kind of going off of what you already said, how important is it for the Overwatch League fan base to understand that, we're not like traditional sports when it comes to the regular season? These type of things happen and the meta changes. How important is it for people to learn this?
Yeah, look, Overwatch is a living, breathing game, and one of the most important skill sets that a team and their coaching staff and their general manager need to be thinking about is how do you build a team that is adaptable and flexible. And I think it's really important that the best teams continue to be teams that can thrive in a variety of strategies, a variety of team compositions. Even look at stage 3, right? The teams that have sort of adapted there, the teams that were able to start playing a little bit less D.Va, a little bit more Sombra, started to see more Pharah recently. Watching that innovation and adaptation has been really cool, and I think is what sets the best teams apart. One of the things that we haven't talked about very much, actually, that I'm really excited about in terms of what this means going forward, I think this is really going to help with player stability and longevity in the Overwatch League, where, like, if you look this year, one of the big issues that a lot of our pro players have had is they didn't know what was expected of them, right? You came into the season and you'd been a tracer specialist who could flex onto Widow or had learned a little bit of Sombra, but the season started and you got to learn Zarya, or you're supposed to learn to play Brigitte. Moving forward, having that certainty of you're a damage player, there's a set of heroes that you need to master. When we launch a new hero every time, it's really clear who on each team is supposed to learn that hero. I think that's really going to help with players' ability to prepare and their ability to always be at the top of their game. As we think about what does this mean going forward and some of the longer term benefits, I think that's one of the biggest ones.
Right. Now, I would imagine for a lot of those players who've been stressing out about the current meta or the way the meta's been this year, this has got to be a sigh of relief for them. Could you buff Reaper? Tell Team 4, buff them. Just give them like one little slight buff, just something.
Yeah, the almost always heals himself entirely on every shot didn't do it for you. It's
no, he needs more. He needs more. I'm doing what I can, man. For all the Reaper
mains out there. I'm sure they appreciate your asking.
Yo, at least for 222, he's got a little bit more of a chance to get played.
They're 2 damage heroes. One of them could be Reaper.
Make it happen, teams. Make it happen. Well, John, thank you so much for spilling all the beans with us here today.
Thanks for having me, Malik. Good talking with you.
I'm excited about it, and I hope the Overwatch League fans are just as excited as I am, too.
I'm with you, Malik. I can't wait to not have 6 DPS in my platinum games, in my gold games especially. But guys, we got to talk about this because with any major change, there's always going to be some critics. But Sideshow, are you buying the league's answer for doing it right now?
Generally speaking, yes, I think so. Listen, there are going to be major shakeups in the league. And it's possible that we'll see a team like Guangzhou, for example, end up winning the entire league after failing in the first 3 stages. It might make the league feel like the first 3 stages weren't as important. But I think the whole of esports are run by the developers. And if the developers of Overwatch believe that this is better for the game in terms of the balance, in terms of the player experience, then I think the league has to mirror it. Whatever is going on in the live server, I agree with John, that it really has to be mirrored inside the league so that you have that cohesive experience for everybody here.
We're coming from a game as well where the competitive scene was pretty much dismantled because of the fact that it didn't mirror the actual game as well. I mean, we've seen this happen in a lot of other games.
RIP TF2.
Exactly. Like this is it's necessary at this point. Honestly, if it's moving forward to the game, the league needs to mirror it. Otherwise, it's a lot worse. Trust me, guys, it's a lot worse.
And I think he made a fantastic point there in the interview, saying that the best team should be the one which can play different things. It shouldn't be you mastered one single composition and now you're on the top and that's that. I do think that a truly top-tier team should be the one which can adapt to different situations.
All right, well, we know how these analysts feel about 222 in the Overwatch League, but what about the pros? When we come back, the league's biggest stars share their thoughts on Rollock and how the game is changing forever. This is Watchpoint Stage 4 Preview, presented by State Farm. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. we welcome the 2-2-2 roll-lock to the Overwatch League, the biggest change we'll probably see is with hero usage. Here are your top used heroes so far this season. Those top 6 are your standard triple tank, triple support heroes, but we've also got some Sombra, Ana, Winston, and Mercy in the top 10 so far. But if we look at the heroes 10 through 20 in terms of usage this year, you'll see some very small percentages for some of our favorite Overwatch heroes. But you have to expect that with roll-lock, we may see the rise in playtime for these and possibly other heroes. So Sideshow, which hero are you most excited to see the return of?
Okay, well, last season we had so much fun watching the greatest Tracer players in the world do battle.
Oh yeah.
And I want a meta where that kind of comes back. Let's not have it like last year where it was dominant the entire time. Not that we can control it, but who knows? But I would love to see some of the most incredible Tracer players retake the stage. Striker and Savior be Prophet hitting ridiculous shots as well. And maybe some of our newer players that were picked up because of their Tracer ability and have yet to really be able to show that on the main stage. It's such a fun hero to watch. And Brigitte just stomped it into the dust this year.
Brigitte is gone crap, is what I'm going to be seeing right now. But you know what I'm going to be picking. The Bridowmaker. Bren, please switch off DPS. Many names I go by, but the Brenji is the one that was reigning supreme.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
2018 was a rough year in ranked.
I want to see the Genji back in because this is my favorite hero. It's the hero that got me into Overwatch. As soon as I saw it, I'm a weeb at heart. It plays into everything I love, and I'm out of practice. I'll admit it. The Brenji, not as powerful as he once has been.
I just remember, with roll-lock, we now can't force you off DPS.
Oh, no.
Exactly. So now I'm locking in DPS. I'm going to be locking in the Genji. I'm going to be feeding my little brain out, and I'm still going to be popping off with the Brenji blades. It don't matter, but I hope that we get to see a lot of other players do it as well. I really do hope, and I really do think so.
Finally, my chance to pass you on the SR leaderboard. All right, so what about you? What hero are you looking forward to?
Oh, okay, here it comes. This may be a hot take, so don't at me, but Brigitte? No, wait, I can explain this, all right? So here's the thing. With the roll-up coming into place and Brigitte being a support hero, what composition can people run to realistically still make it work? And what players will be playing her? Will you have a supporter, actual support player picking her up? Or do we have to have DPS heroes in on Brigitte? Also, we still not having a nerf on her, so will she be played throughout the entirety on stage 4? It's a good question to throw out there.
78% of the season wasn't enough for you.
No, because I want to see her in this kind of environment. It's different.
I love the idea of being a DPS player, finally being free of Brig Jet.
And then your team goes like, how about you play Brig now?
So
I just want to see
you're in a 1-minute timeout right now. We're definitely excited to see the variance in hero usage in Stage 4, and so are the pros. We talked to players around the league to get their thoughts on the 2-2-2 roll-lock and the new era that's about to begin in the Overwatch League.
Well, I talked about roll-lock before anyone talked about roll-lock. I should become a game dev. I'm smart.
Thank God 2-2-2 is happening.
The game has seen so many different unique things, but I think it's time to settle down and sort of find like a standardized way to play the game.
지금 너무 고치만 나오니까. 네.
I get to play DPS again. Woo!
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be exciting for sure.
I think it's refreshing to get out of this meta.
But at least, like, there's not gonna be like a super comp like now.
The main issue with not having a 2-2-2 lock is that it's impossible to balance most of the heroes in the game.
저희가 2-2-2를 안 한 지 거의 1년 가까이 돼가는 느낌인데.
It's going to make comp better too, like competitive ladder better, because you know that the people that lock in the roles on your team are going to be proficient in those roles.
If you play tank or support, you know that you can practice every single day the role, and eventually you can grow to be a professional player.
처음에는 다들 약간 좀 못할 것 같은데. 그러니까 조합을 새로 구상하거나.
We're gonna have a pretty rough start, especially like if it's dive.
I imagine we'll see like a lot more dive, like Winston D.Va. You'll probably see the comeback of like Tracer and Genji a lot because you just can't really play Brig as much.
Or a double sniper meta, which our coaches have dealt with before, so I don't think it'll be that challenging, that hard to figure out.
The way I look at it is there's actually more room for swapping with roll-lock. For example, if one team has like a really good Widow player, then the other team will be like, okay, he's probably gonna run Widow, so we're gonna run dive. Teams that have struggled this meta will definitely have a like instant boost.
The London Spitfire can return to form in a 2-2-2 roll-lock. You get Prophet and Bird Ring back on Comfort Heroes. It's electric.
그 윈스턴은 되게 잘한다고 생각해서 잘할 것 같아요. 2-2-2가 나온다.
I think people should be afraid of San Francisco Shock because they have one of the deepest rosters. They might not have the most versatile roster, but because of how deep it is, they have every base covered.
We have Striker on the bench and Architect on the bench, and they're two of the best DPS players in the game.
Our roster can fill any hero, so we'll be fine, I think, no matter what the mid is.
개인적으로는 저희가 2-2-2 때도 잘했던 팀이라서 별로 걱정은 안 되고.
Philadelphia Fusion as well. They obviously have some incredible DPS players.
We have the advantage, like we can play way different metas than other teams. Some teams are just good at tanks or DPS. I think we are good at like so many different compositions.
저희가 이제 2-2-2 메타가 와도 이제 1등을 유지하려면은 아무래도 더 많은 연습이 필요하겠죠.
딜러 조합을 워낙 잘 다루는 팀이다 보니까 제이크도 다양하게 둠피나 겐지나 하고 링저의 위도우의 힘도 강력하다 생각하고.
I personally think that we'll be one of the best 2-2-2 teams.
저도 상하이 드래곤즈에 있는 딜러 선수분들이 되게 세서 상하이 드래곤즈가 제일 세질 것 같아요.
상하이 드래곤즈의 좀 DM 선수?
그래도 핫살 선수가 자신의 자랑인 겐지를 하게 돼서 좀 기쁘지 않을까 싶어요.
I think it's going to be quite a chaos of matches.
저희가 이제 완전 강팀이라고 인정을 받을 수 있을까 싶어요.
2-2-2 메타는 플레타 메타가 될 것입니다.
It's just a big game changer.
재밌을 것 같아요.
If you're only excited about one thing for Stage 4, it should be damage dealers. Some of the league's most fun to watch players will be returning to glory, and we'll reintroduce you to some of the best next on the Watchpoint Stage 4 preview. The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Oh, it's even between them. That was a fake. Magnitude's got a mad health advantage. This is the first time we've seen that. Right there, and that is game. Magnitude is the Torah Lord. Prostrate at the champion's feet. Well, that might just be all she wrote, but New York has pulled back by some bars. Oh my God, what a dart!
Yeah, sick plays from Hago. There we go. Sleep dart over the ocean. You're not going to kill him the normal way, so you got to drop him in.
Yep, and you don't really need the double sniper after point A anyway. You can still run it, but you don't opt to do it. Whoa,
Yeah, you only need one. You only need one sniper right now, clearly. If you're Atlanta Ray, 3 kills for Baby Bay. All right.
Both going to be going low. Otto uses his own. Stratus is in. He's in. Otto going to be taken down. Puckett moves down. Stratus comes back with a no fist, and he absolutely pops off. Stratus, the madman. They field him on the starting roster. He comes in clutch.
Especially they swapped off the Pharah. They could go for the Roadhog.
all right, the Supercharger, they're just going in with the Mercy, like the Mercy boost, plus the Supercharger. That's a ton of damage, but it doesn't matter if DM finds your head. Luffy down as well. DM finds another one. Eliminates Neptuno as well.
Since Brigitte was introduced in the Overwatch League in our inaugural season, damage dealers have been flexing onto the support hero in many significant compositions. But with 2-2-2, damage dealers will return to playing strictly damage heroes. So Zoe, which player are you most excited to see mashing on their damage dealing comfort picks in Stage 4?
You know what? I'm going to go with my favorite Brigitte, and that's Adora. I can't wait to see Adora back on that Genji, back on that Pharah, back on that damage dealing horse. I'm not sure where the horse came from.
That's Orisa. Orisa's the horse.
Anyway, Adora, he's pretty darn good, all right? And I just can't wait to see him unlocking his full potential. The Spark in general, I think, are going to benefit very much from this roll-ups. I can't wait to see what Adora has in store for us.
I like that pick. That is Adora from the Spark. Bren, what about you?
For me personally, there's one player that I spoke to time and time again, and he's a pretty smart dude, honestly. He goes by the name of EQO. But it's not his brain, as many wrinkles as it may have, that I'm interested in. It's his ability to flex onto the Pharah, onto the Genji, and I want to see if he can reclaim the crown right now as the best Western DPS player. Now, we've got a couple of new players that have been introduced into the league that might be willing to take that crown off of him. Off the top of my head, Colorhex for one. We haven't really seen what he's capable of. He's been stuck on the Zarya mainly. But EQO is a freak of nature on a variety of roles. I think his flexibility is second to none almost to... Libero is the only one I can really compare him to off the top of my head when it comes to how many DPS heroes he can play. So now he's out of the brick jail and he's going to start popping off again. And we're going to see Philly. They're going to make a run to the finals. They're going to be at the finals. It's going to be like 20,000 fans screaming EQO's name. EQO, all the business.
All the business.
All right.
I love it.
I'm going to go with the best Brigitte in the world and potentially the best Genji in the world, Haxal from the Vancouver Titans. We've seen a little bit of this guy flexing onto various damage dealer roles, but it's his Genji that's just unbelievable. Here he is for Runaway playing against Kongdu Panthera. It's legendary. He made his name on this hero. He, in some sense, invented this hero alongside Who Are You, who's still too young to join the league, by the way. But Haxal is just phenomenal on Genji, and he's also got a ton of other heroes that he can play to such a high level. And now that he's no longer having to play the Brigitte, which he was amazing at as well, we're going to really see him flex over a bunch of different stuff and become a true core player for the Titans.
Haxal and Stitch, can't wait for that duo. Let's take a look at our Atlantic Division standings, though, and as you can see, the NYXL have a huge 7-match lead, a full stage basically with a plus 40 map differential above the next best team, the London Spitfire. But a lot of these teams have players riding the bench that could help them improve in a 2-2-2 situation. So Zoe, who are you most excited to see return to action from the Atlantic Division?
You know what, Puckett? Pine. We have talked about Pine in actually forever. His Widowmaker, his McCree, they have been unmatched through the majority of the actual first season. I do hope he will never dab again. But other than that, I honestly can't wait to see him back on stage. I very much hope that he will be fielded. Yeah.
It'd be so good to see Pine back in the lineup. He has been a man missing in action for basically the whole season this year.
I know, right?
He does nothing but click heads. All right, so great pick there with Pine. I love it. Bren, how do you one-up that one?
Well, I wouldn't say a one-up.
Okay.
It's hard to beat Pine coming back onto the stage, but there's two players that have had a very underwhelming season so
He
far.
asked for one. You're taking two?
I'm giving you two right
Okay,
now.
hold on.
Soon,
breaking the rules.
and Shadowburn on the Paris Eternal. These guys are freaks when it comes to the DPS. Shadowburn, again, you said Haxal kind of invented the way Genji was played. I'd make an argument for Shadowburn. This guy made it so popular that he ruined pub play forever.
No one plays
for
in
the
Russia anymore.
general population. Like, Shadowburn popularized Genji. And I feel like we're going to put these guys back on signature heroes. They're not going to be playing Zarya, not going to be feeding. It's going to be beautiful for Paris.
Well,
I love it.
Here's somebody that has been stuck on Zarya duty all season long, who was an MVP candidate, potentially should have won it last year. It's Profit.
Free this man!
Oh my word,
him.
I'm so excited to see Profit back. He was arguably one of the best tracers in the world, just a hard carry for the London Spitfire in these finals. Everyone remembers this play. It was
1v5,
outrageous. But he also plays the Genji. It's sublime. He plays the Junkrat really well. His Pharah is excellent. He can basically play any hero if you let him.
And very consistent.
Insanely consistent, just pumping out great performances over and over and over again. And he's been okay on the Zarya, and he was pretty good on Brig. He's been keeping London in it, but it's time to stop trying to keep London in it and trying to get them all the way to the playoffs, like you were saying about Philly. This is another team that could make a real deep run.
They could make a super deep run. Profit, of course, would help them lead that charge. Let's talk about the other division, though. The stronger division here in 2019. The Pacific Division is a much tighter race, but the Vancouver Titans still have a comfortable 4-match lead over the Shock. For comparison, the last place Valiant would be in 5th place in the Atlantic Division with that record in map differential. We've also got some great players in the Pacific who will see more action in Stage 4 playing their best heroes. So Zoe, who are you keeping an eye on from the Pacific side of things?
You know what? I'm going to go with Striker. Up until the Stage 3 playoff finals, I kind of forgot that he was still in the league. I'm not going to lie. I think we saw him, once, maybe twice. I think they fielded him on Busan or something. Yeah, but that was it. And now we finally saw him back in the lineup. He had made a name of himself for himself on Tracer, on Widowmaker. When he played for Boston, he was their star player. Everything revolved around this man. He is incredible good. He has such a great game sense and such a good read on his opponents. So yeah, seeing him back is going to be very, very scary for all the opponents which will be facing off against the Shock.
I kind of feel silly for not picking Striker now as well, because Striker, I mean, a little known fact.
You kind of forgot about him, right?
No, I forgot about him, but this guy wasn't a Widowmaker player before Stage 3 last year, and he grinded it for a week, and he was competing with the top Widowmakers.
Yeah.
Like, he's a nut. The guy is actually cracked. Like, it's ridiculous. But I'm going to be paying attention to Architect as an individual, because he has been locked away on the bench. Aside from the first map in the Stage 3 finals, we saw him come out to play a little bit, but his Widowmaker is on point, but it's not his Widowmaker as well as I'm looking forward to. It's his Genji, which is the real selling point for this guy. But the fact that he can flex onto both a hit scan and a projectile hero, very impressive. Not a lot of players can do that. A lot of them like to specialize in one or the other, but Architect is talented enough to be able to switch onto both on the fly, which makes him a very good pickup, a very good player as well, and I'm excited to see what Shock can do with him moving into Stage 4.
Sideshow, are you going to go 3 for 3 and pick Sinatra from the Shock?
No, I'm not going for San Francisco Shock player, but I am going to echo Bren's kind of sentiment and pick someone highly, highly flexible. It's going to be Fleta from the Seoul Dynasty. I think that this guy is going to be so pivotal because, like you said, Bren, there is no knowing what the meta could be. We could be stuck playing bunker compositions for the next 3 months. We could be having dive. We could be having double sniper. At this point, there's no telling what the meta would be. And Fleta is the meta. Whatever you need him to play, he will play. And he's also incredibly talented on a bunch of different heroes. Can play the hit scan as well as the projectile, a facet which I'm sure the Seoul Dynasty will make great use of, even though they've got such talented players all across their roster.
That tight race is about to get even tighter in Stage 4, believe me. We just showed you the division standings, and we know the overall race is to get into the top 12 for our overall standings in the playoffs. So, who's moving up and who's moving down in Stage 4? We'll tell you next on the Watchpoint Stage 4 preview presented by State Farm. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
I've been expecting you, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! It's Stage 3, we have returned. Oh no, that is a disaster for the Spitfire! Oh, from downtown! Oh no, you are kidding me! Another one! EMP coming in, where's the tire? Finds 3! And Super punched into a car. Going for the hammer kill! Come on, Sir 4!
At that point, it's not tactical crouching. It's actually, you know, Halo.
No.
Keep it going.
What are you doing?
Keep it going.
Stop! Oh, why do you always do this? Thank you very much, Mr. X-Men. He can stand up next to an NBA champion.
Gesture, why'd you stop dancing? Gesture was dancing. 춤 좀 계속 춰주세요. 춤 춰주세요.
I have 2 huskies, so they shed so much, and I can't wear any black clothes because it's just white fur everywhere.
Well, because we're so generous here at the Overwatch League, we got you a personal wind roller.
Wow.
And of course, your face of Overwatch is here in the arena enjoying the game.
Charles, can you believe Americans call crisps chips, jumpers sweaters, trousers pants, and trolleys shopping carts? What a bunch of codswallop.
Is that like referring to like fish intestines?
I don't think that was intentional.
3.
Did he?
I think he just fell off the side.
Yeah.
That was a fat finger.
It sure looked like a fat finger, though.
Fine. Okay, that's fine.
That's okay, that's okay.
Fusions, man. It's been a while since I've seen that. Just full on rage.
It's all falling apart. The win streak is over. The Houston Outlaws defeat the San Francisco Shock. That is gonna be it. The Los Angeles Valiant are the first team to deliver a loss to the Vancouver Titans in the regular season. It's the Atlanta Reign.
Sir, what's going on?
Oh my, it's the Fran! Oh my word! What's going on? Anything you want to say to the people here in Atlanta? Let's go, dude!
Tourbillon versus Tourbillon, hammers only. This stuff bonkers, right?
Atlanta Reign completes the 2-0 here in front of the home crowd.
For 5 weeks, the anticipation has been building. It is playoff time.
This team has been nothing short of impressive.
My God, this team just does not know when to quit.
That's as clean as it gets.
They will be in our Stage 3 playoffs.
The Vancouver Titans dominate the quarterfinals.
The Shanghai Dragons are going to the semis.
And Hangzhou Spark lose their first ever Map 5. The Valiant advance to face the Shock.
The Shanghai Dragons will go to the Stage 3 finals, and Bumper doesn't look like he believes it.
I don't believe it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Overwatch at its absolute best.
It was a wild Stage 3, but now we're gearing up for some Stage 4 action, and despite losing in the Stage 3 playoffs, the Vancouver Titans are having a historic season up to this point. The top 6 teams in our standings are automatically in the playoffs after Stage 4, with teams 7 through 12 getting a shot at a play-in tournament for 2 final spots. As you can see, the records are tightly bunched up around that 6th and 12th seed spot after our first 3 stages. So that begs the question, who's going up and who's working their way down in the standings? We'll rip through our up or down predictions in 20 seconds each. So let's start at the top right now. Bren, you ready to go?
Yep.
Let's do it. Number 1, we got the Titans.
I'm thinking they're going up, honestly. I'm not even joking. I think these boys are going up. They've been through thick and thin together. This squad has been playing Overwatch since before I was born, I think. And they've been through a metal change or two, I'll tell you that for free. A lot of people are going to be saying, no, they're going to be going down. They can only play GOATs. They can only play triple tank, triple support. Not true. These guys are so talented. They've seen it all. They've seen every meta.
Josh, number 2 is the NYXL. They've been so dominant in the regular season, up or down in Stage 4.
Well, in terms of their standings, I think they'll remain roughly the same, but their level of play will increase. I think they're incredibly comfortable playing the 2-2-2. They've got great damage dealers on those roles, very flexible players. It allows the rest of their roster to play things they're very comfortable with. They've just got by at the moment because they're in a weaker Atlantic division, but they haven't really penetrated through stage playoffs. It's now time to see the real New York, where they're at their full potential.
So at number 3, we got the Shock, the only team to be in every single stage playoffs. Do they go up or down?
I mean, they at least stay even, but they definitely have the potential to go back up with Rascal and Architect and Sinatra, of course, being able to unlock their damage-dealing potential once more. They should find themselves very much at the top of things because they have the coordination required to actually play anything. Those are incredibly skilled players, and I can see them taking on everyone.
Currently sitting in the number 4 spot is the Hangzhou Spark. Bren, Can they get any higher right now?
Wow, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, yeah, I think they...
Josh gave you a look, and now you're changing. I like this.
Stay where they are.
You can't just
go
talk
up,
slowly,
Up or
Brett.
down? Up or down? 10 more seconds.
I think
Say up,
they
say
will remain
Down.
in fourth
Up,
because they are up against some tight competition. They've got good players on the bench.
Great non-answer, Bren. You dragged that out for 20 whole seconds. Sideshow up next. It's the Gladiators at number 5.
This is a really difficult one because they love to play a bunch of really creative stuff. And with the 2-2-2 roll lock, I think they're going to be one of the teams that's hit the most because they can't be as creative as they were in the past. But they love to play a bunch of bunker. Orisa should still be really powerful. I think they're going to start to slip slightly, but not too much. I think the Gladiators are still a good team. They're just not going to be as creative and exciting as we used to see.
Trying to stay in that top 6 and guarantee your spot in the playoffs. That's the goal here. Can the Seoul Dynasty do it?
Oof, where they are right now. Okay, 6. I do think they have the potential to go back up. We do have players such as Illicit, who is an actual god on projectile heroes. And of course, Fleta, well-rounded, very flexible player. The only question I have, who are they fielding? Again, they have been bringing players in and out all through this stage, this last stage. So it would all, pretty much... I don't know who they're fielding, therefore I can't answer this question. That's pretty much what I'm saying.
On the fence with Bren there. All right, let's go to number 7. So I'm putting you right back in the hot seat. This time it's the London Spitfire. Last season they finished very strong at the end.
You know what? London. Either way, they can go all the way up and all the way down because that's what London does best. It doesn't matter what meta they're playing. They always have the potential to really, really disappoint or just be an incredibly good team. Obviously, they have the skill required to be at the very top of things since they are the champions.
Profit on DPS. I think you have to go up from there. Sideshow, let's talk about Shanghai, the Stage 3 champions. Now we're flipping the meta on its head. What happens for Shanghai in Stage 4?
DM and Ding are the best DPS duo, but this team is going down. I'm sorry, but it's going to happen because with a 2-2-2 roll lock, they don't have a great diva on that team. They've got Geggery and they've got Envy, neither of which have been playing with the team that often. I don't see this team being able to sustain the like best team in the world, being able to win the stage finals, that kind of thing. I don't think DM and Ding is enough to carry this through.
Bren, you already talked about EQO, but Philly as a whole, can they rely on Carpe and EQO once again to get them to the playoff finals?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think this team's going up. If they don't, I'll be really disappointed in them, honestly, because they clearly didn't like the GOATS meta. Now they're going to be moving into a meta that is going to be suiting them. Carpe, EQO, I'm expecting very big things from them, and especially because the finals are in Philly. If you don't make finals, I'm talking to you, Philadelphia, now, one-on-one. I'm going to come around your house, I'm going to eat your food, your chef puts up, and I'm not going to leave your treehouse. I'm going to live
Shout
there.
out to Heidi.
He's going to live in your treehouse and eat the chef
That's what I did.
food.
I
I love that. All right, we've talked about the top half of the league moving up or down, but which team from the bottom 10 in the standings do you guys think will be on their way up in Stage 4? Zoe, we're starting with you.
Well, I thought you said it. I was like, is there anything more to come? I'm going to go with the Charge, honestly, because I think they had some very, very great games in this past stage, and they've shown us a lot. However, it was just never enough. So I think mainly that came down to the meta. They were a little bit unsure on how to play around certain things, but with the 2-2-2 lock, I can see with the players they are having in their team, they could actually make a run for it and at least go to be a solid midfield team.
That's kind of a difficult schedule, actually, but they did just beat Shanghai.
That's very true. All right, I like your pick a lot there with the Charge. Bren, who are you going with? Who else is climbing from the bottom 10?
Boy, I'm going to be going with the Boston Uprising for this one.
Okay.
I feel like the Boston lads are going to be able to be right back up, huh?
Out of the doldrums, out of the pit.
I don't know that word.
It's a big word, big word.
Doldrums.
Big word.
Doldrums.
7 letters.
That's my vocabulary.
Sorry for confusing you, Brett.
Add that to my vocabulary. Stage 4 schedule for Uprising. Honestly, pretty winnable. They're playing against some of the bottom tier teams here. They've already been practicing a lot of 2-2-2 compositions. Remember Blase Doomfist? I do.
Oh, I do.
Definitely does. Yeah, Puckett was very happy that day. Had to get multiple changes of wardrobe.
I still watch it every night before bed.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the perfect remedy to put yourself to sleep. But yeah, I have a lot of feelings for the Uprising squad, and most of them are good. I didn't really know why I said feelings. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been a long day. So
it's a fresh day. It's Thursday. Josh, you're up next. Fresh day. What are you excited about? Who else from the bottom 10 is climbing?
Well, Valiant are actually in the bottom 10, and they've already done really well in Stage 3. But looking forward forward to stage 4, they've actually been having a lot of success running Shacks, running agilities, having those kind of lineups working. They're also very, very good at those bunker compositions with the Orisa, with the Diva, and double sniper kind of stuff. So I can see them making a big run in stage 4, trying to recover their season. They're certainly looking strong coming into stage 4. We'll see what the meta ends up being, of course. Bunker is just one of many options that it could be. But I'm feeling pretty confident about the LA Valiant.
I like these calls. It's time, though, for some hot takes. I'm going to give you guys 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me some hot takes. Stage 4 is coming up. What has you excited, Zoe?
I'm not going to say Brigitte again. So I'm going to go with, we're going to go back to dive. You know what? I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the dive meta coming back right at you. And about 2 weeks in, all of you are going to complain about only seeing dive. So I can't wait for all of that too.
Bren?
Yep. That's so true. No one's ever happy with the meta. It's actually ridiculous. I remember everyone was screaming for tanks to be played. Are you happy now? You got your wish, didn't you?
Josh, how do you think stage 4 plays out for us?
A lot of Orisa. If I was to make a bold prediction, I think we're going to see a ton of Orisa versus Orisa. We're going to see stuff like last season's playoffs with, LA Valiant having so much success and the Philadelphia Fusion. London
wouldn't you
as well.
say that would depend on the maps?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the maps are because I haven't looked, but
but everything will be
Orisa.
I do have a hot take.
Go ahead, Bren.
Am I allowed to speak?
Yes.
Yes. I think Shanghai Dragons are going to win the Overwatch League.
Oh, there it is.
He's keeping it.
Okay.
He's keeping it. Shanghai
Said it last
Dragons
year.
wins the 2019 Overwatch League season. We'll find out. Does that come true? Gotta wait till the end of stage 4. That's gonna do it for our Watchpoint special stage 4 preview. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks, State Farm. We'll see you next week.